promo. This whole interview is brought to us by BetJack, which is the ultimate sportsbook in Cleveland. BetJack, it is live now. Get in on all the game action. Download the BetJack app today so you'll be ready to go for your parlays, over-unders, anything you want. BetJack has its Ohio Sportsbook. Nice. And now joining us for
Here he is. Wait a minute. Hold on. He came out with, let me pull mine out. He pulled his jury out. Let me pull my
He doesn't have an earring.
Come on now.
You look like a starter kit. Yours looks like the starter kit.
You got this. This dude.
Pull my jury out.
Phil Taylor is officially the first person to ever sit in that chair that doesn't look small in that chair. Usually we put people in that chair, they look tiny, but you don't.
Appreciate it.
Phil, why? You know, what's really cool is you still live in Cleveland.
Yeah.
A lot of players leave here and they don't live in Cleveland.
Yeah, I loved it here since I got here. You know, so I met my wife here. You know, we started our family here, so we call it home.
Here for good, huh?
Yeah. For now.
Yeah. We've got a lot to talk to you about, but we want to talk to you. We just had Joe Thomas on, and he said, "Hey, listen, you got to ask him about the time he took off his helmet and hit a man during practice." And he said, "You're going to deny it." He said, "You are going to deny it," but he said he saw it with his own eyes.
Nah, I even put up the film on Twitter. If you guys go back and look at it. It was against my good friend Garrett Gilkey.
That's what he said.
And I hit him with my fist, man. I know my fist probably looked big on film. It was my fist, man. It was my fist, yeah.
Yeah, Joe said you were going to deny it. Yeah. But now we got to find it. Is it on your Twitter feed?
Yeah, I think because we was talking about it. It was sometime last year. Him and Hawk was talking about it, and I had to back up my claim.
See, now what's the most annoying? See, I used to play D-line. What's the most annoying thing like that would make you want to fight an offensive lineman?
Yeah, I got
like I don't like when they keep going and then they try.
When you already beat them and they push you in your back just because.
Was this training camp?
Maybe, yeah, because that's when we get in all the.
That's what I was saying. Training camp is what the
during the season, everybody cool. Training camp, you try to looking at everybody. Yeah. So
yeah, they be doing dirty, sneaky
stuff.
Hey,
we got the clip by the way, Phil.
Oh, we got it. Quick with it.
It's sideways.
What happened?
Tag board. Don't do me dirty now.
I guess we don't have it. Wait.
Fade to black.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
We can
Okay, tag board's messing up.
You suck, tag board.
All right.
You don't have your problems like this at your podcast, do you?
No.
I mean, we ain't got the pop up like that. We just keep it simple.
Phil, what did you think when Joe got in the Hall of Fame?
Well deserved. You know, a lot of people were, giving grief about, he got in before these other people. But if you look at his accolades and the fact that he went 10,000 straight snaps without missing a game, you can't say a lot of people have done that. You know what I mean? So, you got to give credit when it's due. And it's well deserved.
What do you miss most about not playing?
The games, the locker room. Just being around the guys. I don't really miss the preparation too much.
No one does.
Did the Browns have conditioning tests?
Yeah, we did.
Did you?
It was one of them shits. I don't know who it was. They ain't last that long, but.
So you was good.
It was one. We had to run 20/40s, right? 20/40s.
That is a lot.
And then he was like, you got to run them in 6 seconds. I'm like, I ran 5 flat to get here.
Right,
so you said I got to run 19 more? Yeah, sheesh. Yeah, it was crazy, man. Crazy.
Oh my God.
I ain't paid too much attention to that. Man, get me to the field.
What did you think of the Browns' defensive line this past season?
Inconsistent.
Okay.
They need a leader up front in the interior, and I felt like it was tough watching as a defensive tackle.
Right.
It was tough. It was tough, but being a Brown and not having that fight, that dog inside that interior D line is a problem, and we gotta address that this season early.
I said
yeah.
that.
Hey, we have the videos. Let's see the actual video in question. The Zapruder film.
You gotta turn to the side.
All right.
Who's about to get this work?
Yeah, there was definitely no helmet in your hand.
Yeah, my helmet was on my head.
It was on your head.
Yeah, he had his helmet off.
Do we know what year that was? Do you remember?
Miles Austin was in the film, so that was Jason Pinkston. That was.
Oh wow,
that might have been 12 or 13. Yeah,
all right. So I was there for that trip. Jason Pinkston still lives in the area too, doesn't he?
Pittsburgh. He's down in Pittsburgh, yeah.
Oh, we can't talk to him no more.
That's right.
Oh, no, he's still Browns. He's still yeah.
I gotta ask you. See, I gotta get to the real. I gotta get to some street questions. Now I asked. I
thought Tyvis would go there first.
No, I'm going. We ain't worried about none of that. Now I asked Tyvis the same thing. I asked every NFL player, right? When you know what I'm saying, like when you got your first check, what's the dumbest thing you bought?
The dumbest thing?
Like, you'd be like, man, I ain't even need that, man. Or you'd be like, I wanted it at the time and it just really wouldn't jump in.
I don't know. I mean, I ain't really go crazy. I made sure I got, you know what I'm saying, my parents a house. That was the first thing, really.
Okay.
That's awesome. Smart.
Yeah, I mean, I ended up getting a place in the same condo building where Joe lived at. So, I mean.
So I asked Braylon Edwards this question, right? Braylon was like, yeah, I got the Phantom off top. I said, the first year you got the Phantom? What was your first car?
My first car was a Range Rover.
Okay.
That's a
choice.
Yeah. It was simple.
Ask me what I got.
What's the first thing you bought?
Well, so when I got my signing bonus, $12,000 signing bonus. As an undrafted.
You weren't a first-round pick.
No, $12,000 undrafted. What happened with the money? I told McNuggets this. What happened was we was out on some jet skis. Those OTAs. You know, I came in OTAs. It's like, yeah, man, let's go out and celebrate. Let's go get on the jet skis. Like, man, I ain't never rode no jet skis before. So we get out there on the water in Seattle. It's beautiful because your practice, the water is right there. Beautiful. Get on the jet skis. We sitting in the middle of the lake or whatever the heck it is, and we just talking. But like, you know, jet skis drift on the water. So mine's drifted and hit the dude, one of the other DBs, and it put a hole in it. So my $12,000 went to replace the jet ski.
Was this guy somebody? Wait a second. Was it somebody that already made a lot of money?
No, he was undrafted with me.
Another guy like you.
We was both undrafted.
Yeah. Couldn't Richard Sherman have paid for all that?
He could have.
Come on,
Sherm looked out. He gave me a little bit of the money back.
All right.
Shout out to you, Sherm. He gave me a little bit of the money back. But so, but the first vehicle I bought was a Challenger.
Okay.
That's great too.
Yeah, listen, I had one of them. They repoed it, but it's all good.
You got the knock on the door.
They got me too, Jay. They came up. It was crazy. I'm like, man, I was hiding it at Walmart's. I said, you ain't never gonna find this. I'm putting this in my brother's crib. Like, you ain't never. Man,
they go find it.
They gonna find it.
I was thinking about it. I was bored. I was like, man, I might get me a tow truck and start repoing.
Dude, I was like, man, I can't be the most intimidating repo man. That could be a reality
people
show.
crazy though.
That's
man.
Phil Taylor, the repo man.
That would be great. That would make a lot of money. That would be a good show.
I would watch.
We got to put that on the list.
I would
Phil Taylor,
watch
Repo
that.
Man.
Because if he comes
or a bounty hunter.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Now, me and Phil Taylor bounty hunting.
Oh yeah.
That's the squad.
McNuggets and Taylor.
Phil, what's your favorite moment from playing with the Browns?
My favorite moment, I would say when we beat Pittsburgh at home and we had like 9 turnovers. I know Big Ben wasn't playing. I think Charlie Batch.
Oh.
I think he was playing that game, but we was tearing them up. Yeah. We were just out there having fun.
Y'all had 9 takeaways?
On defense, yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
We had 9 in the last 2
And they still only won by a point. No.
Probably, but shit. Hey, a win is a win.
You know what? You could say Big Ben didn't play, but the Browns quarterbacks were all basically Charlie Batch for a decade.
Yeah.
He can't confirm or deny. He just gave
I'm riding with whoever we got out there.
What do you think about Deshaun Watson? What do you think he's going to bounce back this year?
Yeah, I mean, shit. I mean, he missed 2 years.
Yeah.
You know, he did better than what I expected, you know, after missing 2 years. And, you know, Jacoby as well. He did better than everybody expected in the first 11 games.
He did. Played
well.
I
think he'll bounce back.
Now, explain to people, because me and Jay talked about it. You know, we didn't have knee injuries. I went and tore ACLs. I tore mine twice.
I tore my quad off the bone, all that.
A lot of people don't know. God. Usually when you're a first-round draft pick, you gonna get a couple more contracts. You're gonna play a longer period of time. A lot of people may not know, like, you got injured. Tell us how you got injured and how that ended up being almost career-ending, where, you know, a lot of people was like, yo, what happened to Phil Taylor? Like, what happened with Big Homie? So what went with that?
It was, my first injury in the league was my pec. You know, that happened May of want to say 12. And I came back, I missed the first 8 games, and then, but my knee injury, I missed like 3 weeks. And I was still having a problem with it. So I told, our team doctors at the time, they didn't really quite know. So I was like, all right, can I get a second opinion? So I went down to Dr. Andrews, got a second opinion, and he knew right away what it was. He was like, in like 40, 50 years of doing this, I've seen maybe 2 or 3 and all about gymnastics people. So basically it was something with my meniscus or whatever. So long story short, rehab that whole year, came back, camp, didn't do as well, still having problems with it. That's when we had drafted Shelton and stuff that year, and I felt like I already seen it coming. So, they're running Danny with the ones. I'm still helping them. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the guy to sit there and, they're taking me out from the ones. I'm still, showing love, and they end up releasing me. Sat out that year rehabbing and stuff, signed a futures with Denver. That didn't go well. And it was basically the same knee. So basically I got 2 surgeries within a month. Because the doctors we had at first, I guess they didn't look all the way and see the real problem. So they rehabbed me back in 3 weeks after that and basically made me play again and was still messed up. So, I mean, the injuries did hurt. And then when I got to Washington, I was like fully back. I was finally getting over this knee. And then the 3rd preseason game, they named me the starter, and then tore my quad. And it was like, I was like,
that had to be a picnic, tearing the quad off.
Man,
it was more like physically coming back from him. I was good at physically coming back from him. It was just a mental toll, just keep coming back from the injury.
We've talked about that.
It sucked.
Really
it sucked, and my wife saw it. And then after we then came back from the quad, and then freaking, I ain't gonna say the head coach's name when I was in Washington, but training camp, ones versus ones. He got O-line and D-line. We doing goal line period, and he allows cutting.
Oh, yeah.
And then I got an MCL.
Oh,
like
God.
What?
Yeah.
That's why they got rules for y'all now. That's why y'all can't handle contact. Y'all was doing too much.
It's crazy, man. Yeah.
I have a feeling I know which head coach that was. You went to Penn State originally, then transferred to Baylor.
You went to Penn State?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I know.
Why not O State?
I had a
He had a
Okay, so why not?
Fickle recruited me out from
You should have took it. They went ahead and,
This ain't a recruiting visit now.
My D-line coach out there with y'all now. Larry Johnson.
Oh, that was your yeah,
my
he was at Penn
coach
State.
Yeah.
At what point did you know I'm going to play in the NFL?
To be honest, like midway through college. Like,
So at Penn State or at Baylor?
probably Baylor.
Yeah, you figured out.
Penn State, I was young, dumb,
Enjoying the life.
enjoying it, and then transferred down to Baylor, man, and Coach Kaz Gazzotti, the strength and conditioning coach there, he's now at TCU, and he just put me on a different game plan, and then I was like, oh, okay.
So you could feel yourself
then,
get stronger.
Then I was going against, remember Jason Smith, the guy, he went 2nd overall out of Baylor, and I was going against, like my redshirt year down there, everybody don't know, they was like, oh, we just getting a transfer from Penn State, and I'm going down there, and I'm, killing them in practice and stuff like that. He's supposed to be number 2 overall, so I'm like, oh, shit, it must not be that bad. So, going from Penn State to the spread down in Texas, it was different. But I wouldn't change my route for anything.
How you got to see it up close, man? One of the coldest to put the jersey on, and every time I talk about this, man, it hurts my heart. You saw Josh Gordon up close.
Oh, Josh Gordon.
How cold was Josh Gordon? Like just being able to see him up front. Did he ever do something in practice or do something you'd be like, how you get that off?
A lot of people don't know Josh like I know. He's a super intelligent person. And the first time I met him at Baylor, you know how big he is when he was in the Browns uniform? Yeah. That's how big he was the first time I met him at Baylor. And I'm like, where did y'all find this grown man at? Yeah. Like, fully tatted, everything. And, I'm like, oh, yeah, he going to be something. And it sucks things went the way it went, but he's out in Seattle now with the Sea Dragons XFL, so hopefully, that goes well.
Man,
you think about it, he had a 1,700-yard season
And didn't he play a full
14 games.
They didn't change the rule.
Right. With bad quarterback play.
Yeah, it sucks,
He was a freak. I mean, just a freak of freaks.
And I ain't gonna lie, bro. I mean, most of it was for marijuana.
It's insane.
It's weed.
It's insane. And now
it ain't even.
And you can't
legal.
get in trouble for that now.
It's
Somebody said they
legal.
let it off now.
It's
You're good.
crazy.
He came along 15 years too soon.
Yeah.
If he
so
played
crazy.
now,
Oh, if he played
That's how I
well,
feel about
how much of a distraction do you think all that was? I mean, obviously you're on again, you're off again. He was probably constantly concerned about getting popped. How could he have been if he had no restrictions and just
I
went
don't
out
think
there?
necessarily it was Josh. It was just his surroundings. You know, sometimes you gotta. I wasn't the big guy to always have the the big entourage. You know what I mean? I kind of keep my circle small, and that was one of the main things. Just he's just being just a good guy, and just having the wrong people around him sometimes. Kind of got the best of him.
Can you tell a teammate? Because I know that Johnny Manziel, when he came here, he had the same situation, and we had Joe on before. Joe Thomas has been on with us other times. He tried to talk to him, but sometimes these guys you can't get to them. You can't.
You can only say so much. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, what I'm saying?
It's up to them.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It's tough, because you always want all your teammates to be 100%, and you gotta, at the end of the day, you gotta let things play out how they play out.
Phil, I got to ask you about another teammate who, fortunately, is okay now. But from my perspective, as a media member that covered him, he seemed kind of crazy, and that was Peyton Hillis. Well, I mean, I know you played defense, obviously, so I don't know how much interaction you had with him.
Was he? It's kind of a blank slate with him because it was like I think he was just around like my rookie year.
Yeah, right.
He obviously called my name during draft night, and but yeah, I mean, he was cool. It was a little different, like the whole little, like him missing the game and the wedding and all that. I ain't really know. We just know he wasn't there. Yeah. So like we ain't really know all the details and nothing like that. So, I mean, I'm glad he good though. I heard about the little incident or whatever, but I'm glad he good.
Who told the story about him hitting a deer or something, and he just picked it up and threw it in the trunk of his car and then went to practice?
Joe that told us that?
It may have been Joe Thomas.
One of your former teammates.
What's wrong? If it was cold out, he was fine.
He hit the deer and he picked it up and put it in his trunk.
And took it to practice.
And when he got there and was telling guys about it like it was just a normal thing, he's like, yeah, man, I had a deer on the way in. I put him in my trunk.
DeQuell told us that, by the way.
Well, it was DeQuell. You're right. It was. So these are for true or false. Cool. It's a game we play every Wednesday. Tyvis thinks he's the best at it. He's not.
8-time champ.
He's been very lucky.
8-time
champ.
It's a guessing game, essentially.
The belt is on the line.
By the way, you got a good DeQuell story, by the way?
DeQuell?
Yeah,
We
tell
love
us
DeQuell.
about DeQuell.
He comes on with us every week. We love him.
Other than
DeQuell-
the fact that he's bald.
The first time the D-line, we got him, we let him smell our little smelling sauce before the game. The little ammonia pack?
Yeah.
We had about 20, 30 of them joints in like a
cup.
like a water bottle.
Yeah.
And he ain't really know. Like he like
Oh, y'all dirty.
he hit that joint, fell over in his chair in the locker room. I was like, you better chill out,
Hey,
boy.
when your arms go limp to the side, and DeQuell was over there.
Oh yeah, he had a great game that day though.
Hey, we will cut that and play that for DeQuell tomorrow.
High alert.
Now we
Breathing well.
Now we know why DeQuell is bald.